Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about the concept of lexical analysis. Okay, in previous class we have discussed about the phases of compiler. All those things we have discussed. There are six phases. So in that first phase is the lexical analysis. Okay, that phase we are discussing here in this today's class. Okay, lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis in intermediate code generation. Okay, these are the phases we have. So in that we are discussing first one is lexical analysis. Okay, so that concept we are discussing in this today's class. The outline of this today's class is we will discuss about what do you mean by lexical analysis, and after that, okay. So then after that, interaction between the lexical analyzer and parser. Okay, that is a parser is nothing but a syntax analysis. Then what are the actions performed by the parser and the lexical analyzer? Why we are lexical analyzer versus parser? And we will discuss about token. What do you mean by token, pattern, lexemes, and we will discuss some examples. So this is the outline of today's class. The first thing is what do you mean by lexical analysis? Okay, this lexical analysis is the first phase of the compiler. Okay, so it will take the source program. Okay, the process of reading a source program and converting it into a sequence of token is called lexical analysis. This is the starting phase. Okay, what it will do, it will take the source program, okay, high level language program, and after that it will convert those that are source program into n number of tokens. Okay, so that is the like that one we will call it as a lexical analysis. That is generation of tokens. The first step is generation of tokens. So that one will be performed in lexical analysis. And what are the various tasks that are performed by the lexical analyzer are? So what it will do, various tasks. Okay, first it will read the sequence of characters from the source program and produce the tokens. One thing. Okay, it will read the sequence of characters from the source program and it will produce the tokens. Done. Okay, so then the tokens generated are sent to the parser. Parser is nothing but a syntax analysis. So tokens are generated and this lexical analysis it is responsible to transfer the tokens to next phase. Okay, that is nothing but a syntax analysis. Okay, the tokens that are generated are sent to the parser for syntax analysis. That parser we will call it as a syntax analyzer. A syntax analyzer or parser both are same thing. We are giving a different name. That's all. Okay, so lexical analysis it will read the sequence of characters and it will produce a tokens. The tokens will be sent to the parser. That is nothing but a syntax analysis. This syntax analysis we will call it as a parser. Okay, so during this process, okay, it generates the tokens and it will send to parser. During this process, this lexical analyzer interacts with the symbol table and it will inserts the various identifiers and constants. Okay, so what it will do, it will sends the token. So during that process it will inserts the various identifiers and constants into the symbol table. Okay, so that one also it will done in lexical analysis. The information of identifier is read from the symbol table to assist in determining the proper token to send to the parser. Why that we are storing that one in symbol table? So because of the information of identifier is read from the symbol table to assist, okay, to assist in determining the proper tokens, okay, to assist in determining the proper token to send to the parser. Okay, to proper tokens to be sent to the person because of it assist in determining the proper token. So it means we are arranging id, so id1, id2, so we are arranging in a sequence. So from the symbol table, so we that one will be fetch that token and it will send to the parser. Okay, so the main thing is it will read the sequence of characters and it will produce these tokens. The tokens will be sent to the parser and it will insert the identifiers and constants into the symbol table. Okay, so these are the process done by lexical analysis. Okay, so then how that interaction between the lexical analyzer and parser. Lexical analyzer is nothing but a lexical analysis and the parser is nothing but a syntax analyzer. See here, so here we have a source program. Source program is read by lexical analyzer. That one we will call it as a lexic scanner. Okay, so that will be a scanner we will call lexical analyzer, lexical analysis. Both things are different names. That's all. Scanner, parser. Lexic analyzer, syntax analyzer. Lexic analysis, syntax analysis. Okay, that is the thing. Okay, so here what it will do, so the scanner will generate the set of tokens. That one will be read from parser. Okay, that one will read from parser. See here, so here in addition to that, this lexic analyzer, it will interact with symbol table and it will insert the identifier and constants into the symbol table. Okay, and the parser will also get the details of identifier and symbols from the symbol table. Okay, identifier and constants from the symbol table. So here we have one function get next token. Okay, so this get next token, this is the parser program. So this syntax analyzer will call the function. What is the use of this get next token? So here the scanner will send the next token to the parser. Okay, so here which is function defined in the lexical analyzer. Okay, the parser program calls the function get next token, which function is defined in lexic analyzer. So here in that lexic analyzer, that get next token is function is defined, this parser will call. Okay, so here what why parser will calls? So once the first token, suppose you want to get a first token, get the next token, then after that one more token, after that one more token. How we will get? So it will call this next get next token. So when the function is called, token will be sent from scanner to parser. Okay, so like that. Yeah, once it calls after the process of that first token, then it will call the next token. Like that, the token will be passing from scanner to parser. Okay, see here, that's how this function will call. We'll see that one in. So here, this is the parser program. Okay, so here this is the lexic analyzer for program. So guess to next token, the function is defined in this lexical analyzer. So this parser program, it will call this function get next token. It will call this function. Once the function is called, so here this guest next token, it will return a token. That token will be copied to this token. Okay. This function get the next token of lexicon analyzer returns the token back to the parser for parsing. Okay, if the token obtained is identifier, it is entered into the symbol table along with various attributes. Okay, so here if the token is an identifier, then that value will be inserted into the symbol table. If it is semicolon or other things, it will read same thing. Okay, when it is an identifier, it will it will insert into the symbol table. Okay, so that is the interaction between the lexical analyzer and the parser. Lexical analyzer parser is nothing but a syntax analysis. Okay, so like that the tokens will be sent to scanner to parser. Okay, so next one is what are the actions performed by parser? So parser is nothing but a syntax analysis. What it will do, I already discussed it one. So first thing is it will remove the comments from the program. Okay, in syntax analysis, in parser, in syntax analysis, parser or a syntax analyzer, it will do these following actions. So it removes the comments from the program. Okay, if you have any comments in the program, it will remove. Okay, and removes the white spaces. Okay, such as blank, tabs, new line characters from the source program, and then tokens are obtained. After removing that white spaces, the tokens will be generated. Okay, so next one is keep track of line numbers so as to associate with line numbers with error message. So here something is syntax error, there is an error in syntax. So for that, what it will do, it needs to display the error message. For to display the error message in on which line that error is there. So to identify that, it will keep track the line number also. Okay, it will keep track of line number so as to associate the line number with error message. To display that error message, it will keep track the line number. Okay, if any errors are encountered, the lexical analyzer displays the appropriate error message along with the line number. If any errors are found, okay, if any errors are encountered, the lexical analyzer displays the appropriate error message along with the line number. Okay, so pre-processing may be done during the lexical analysis phase. Okay, so what is the main thing of this action performed? It will remove the comment line, it will remove the white space such as blank, new line character, tab. Then after that, it will keep track the line number to display the error message, and if any error encounter, lexic analyzer will display the appropriate error message along with line number. Okay, so this is the actions done by the parser. Okay, so we need to remember these things. Why we have, we have to differentiate lexical analyzer and okay, so lexical analyzer and syntax analyzer, that is lexical analysis and parsing is nothing but a syntax analyzer. Okay, so what is the difference and why we are separated? Okay, so lexical analysis and parsing. So why? Because of these two reasons. One is simplicity of design, another one is compiler efficiency is improved. Okay, see here what happened in lexical analyzer. So just it will, in lexical analyzer it will generate the token. After that, in parser it will check the syntax. But why we differentiate these two phases? Okay, so because of the simplicity of the design. If we combine two things, it will be complex. More, it will becomes a complex pass. That's why what we are doing. So because of simplicity of the design. Okay, so what simplicity? Because this is the parser deals with the comments and white space would be more complex. Okay, what happens, the parser it will deals with white, it will remove the white spaces. We already told that. So that is, white spaces are nothing but a blank tab and new line characters. Okay, so it will be very difficult task, that is very more complex. A parser that deals with comments and white spaces would be more complex. That is one. Second one, to simplify the task, reduce the complexity of parser, removing and comments and white spaces is done by the lexical analysis. For simplify this task, okay, and reduce the complexity of the parser, removing of comments and white spaces is done by lexical analysis. Okay, so but the job of that removing that white spaces is done by parsing, but to simplify the task, in the lexical analysis phase only, that comments and white spaces will be removed. Okay, when designing a new language, a separation of first two phases results in clean overall language design. Okay, so when you are designing a new language, the separation of this generation of tokens and that after that that syntax checking. So these two phases, if we are separated, then cleaner overall of the language design. So at that time it's very important. That's why, so because of the simplicity of design, we have separated lexical analysis and parsing. Another one is compiler efficiency needs to improve. So when you have separated these things, okay, what happens if a big problem is there, when you divide that big one into smaller one, easily you can solve that problem. If it is very big, it's very difficult. Okay, so here, so a separate lexical analyzer allows us to use the specialized techniques for lexical task, and generation of tokens will be easier and efficient. So here for lexical analysis, we have a specialized techniques to generate the tokens. Okay, so we have a specialized technique. If I add that one to removing white space and other things, it will becomes a complex. So that's why we are having a separate phase, because of this lexical analysis having a special techniques to generate the tokens. Okay, another one, a specialized buffering techniques are used for reading the input characters, which will be speed up the compiler efficiency. And lexical analyzer will have a specialized buffering in, will have an input buffering, we'll call it that. Okay, we have a specializing buffering technique. So it means a temporary memory we are available to read the input characters, which is will speed up the compiler efficiency. Okay, so here that's why processing is very fast when you have an input buffering. Okay, the buffering, so that's why we are separated that lexical analysis versus parsing. Okay, one is simplicity of the design, another one is compiler efficiency is improved, because of we have a special technique for generating the tokens, and we will have a concept called input buffering techniques. So it will speed up the processing of reading the input characters. So that's why we are using lexical analysis and parsing as a different phases. Okay, so next one is, so we token patterns and lexemes. These are the three important things what we have. Okay, so token, patterns, lexeme. Okay, so what are those tokens? What are the, it will generate, we are telling that lexical analyzer it will generate the tokens. What is token? Okay, so for that we are taking one example. So here I have a declared character str is equal to hello. So we are declaring a variable, character variable str. Okay, and we are not mentioning any size. Okay, so hello is the one constant we are assigning. So based on that, the str memory location will be allocated. Length of that str will be assigned. Okay, so leave with this. This is one statement what we have. So in that we need to identify what are the patterns, lexims, and tokens. Tokens are output of lexic analyzer. Okay, so here these lexims are nothing but, okay, so here we'll have what are the, when you separate these things, that in this statement, character str, this over flower bracket, left bracket, and right bracket equal, and whole thing is allow, and after that we have a semicolon. These things we will call it as a lexeme. Okay, char, so that is a sequence of characters. Okay, so char, then after that str, this open flower bracket, close open square bracket, close flower square bracket equal, and hello, and semicolon. See here how many lexims are there. These things we will call it as a lexims: char, str, open, close, equal, hello, and this one. So 3 7 lexims we have. Okay, so then the description of these things we will call it as a pattern. Okay, character is a keyword. Okay, str is a variable, that one we will call it as a identifier. So this is left bracket, this is right bracket, this is operator, that is assign operator, and this is hello is the string, and semicolon is symbol. The category of that lexims, the description of that lexims, we will call it as a pattern. Okay, so this description of these characters, okay, so that is nothing but the description of these lexims, we will call it as a pattern. Okay, so keyword is a pattern of char. This str pattern is identifier. So this left bracket is, that is left bracket, equal is nothing but an operator, symbol is nothing but a semicolon is nothing but a symbol. This is the pattern. So then the output of these things, the lexical analyzer is nothing but a, this is nothing but a token. Okay, so this is the symbolic names defined in as defined. Okay, for each one, for each the lexeme we will have a token. For each lexeme we will have a tokens. So that char will be represented as a token, char. So this is str, this is a identifier. Okay, so this is the id comma 1. What is the first identifier? This is nothing but a left bracket, that is the token, right bracket token, and equal is nothing but a, we are giving a token name as assign. Okay, and hello, this is the literal. Okay, and here semicolon, for that this is a symbol. Okay, the lexeme is a semicolon. Okay, this is a symbol of pattern, so for that we will have a token semicolon. So like that, for each lexemes we will have a token. Okay, the description of the pattern is not description of that lexeme is nothing but a pattern. Okay, so each pattern we will have a number of lexemes. So suppose for example, for keyword, so keyword we will have a character, int, float, double. So those are all the pattern of keyword pattern. In that we will have a number of lexemes, that is int, float, char, those are all nothing but a symbol. Okay, that is nothing but a lexeme. Suppose if you have a symbol, symbol, it may be semicolon is there, plus or minus, all those things are symbols. It will, okay, so okay, like that, that semicolon or flower, or a number of things we'll have in that. Okay, so we will discuss those things. Okay, so these are the lexemes, the sequence of characters whatever we have given in the statement. Okay, so char, str, allow, and these are nothing but a patterns. Okay, these the patterns are nothing but a description of the lexemes, and these are the symbolic names for each lexeme, symbolic names for each lexeme. Okay, so next, see here, what do you mean by token? A token is a pair consisting of token name and an optional attribute value. Okay, a token is a pair consisting of a token name. So that may be whatever we are showing now, those things are int, okay, whatever, semicolon. Okay, so those are all a token names with and an optional attribute value. That is, suppose if you have a identifier, so for that we'll have comma 1. Okay, that is an optional attribute value. So for every keyword, there is a unique token. For every keyword, you will have a unique token name. So I already told not int, float, char. So for all those things, for any, so you in C you are using a number of keywords. For each keywords, you will have a tokens. So example int, float, char, if, while. So for each keyword, wherever keyword is there, so for that we will have a token. And for every symbol, there is a token name. For every symbol, so it may be semicolon or it may be colon, comma, colon, it may be comma, it may be left parenthesis, right parenthesis, whatever it may be. Okay, left bracket or right bracket. So for every symbol, we will have a unique token name. Like that for a identifier. Okay, so identifier is nothing but a variable or a constant. So for all those things, we will have a token is called, that is id comma 1. That is nothing but where id is token name and 1 is the position of the identifier in the symbol table. If it comes first, that is the first position. We will store that one in first position. If it comes to second position, id comma 2. Like that, based on that position, we will assign the number. Okay, so these like these things we will call it as a token. Token is nothing but a keyword, symbols, and identifier. Keyword, symbol, and identifier. These are the three things. The tokens are the output of the lexical analyzer. Okay, so here we are, tokens with corresponding integer codes for keyword. So here these things are everything is defined in as defined. Okay, so for if we will give the token integer code 1, for else integer code 2, int, char, double, float. For each one we are assigning a integer codes. And like that for plus we will have 50, for minus we will have 51, subtract we will have 52, divide. So this is these are nothing but an operator, plus, minus, subtract, divide. Okay, so for that we are assigning an integer. We will have an integer code. So like that your object code for each one will have object code like that here. Okay, so then here left bracket, right bracket, left parenthesis, right parenthesis, semicolon. For all those things we will have an integer code. Okay, for identifier also we will have identifier. It will be 100, literally it will be 100, 101. Like that, for everything we will have an integer code. Okay, so this is a token and this is the integer code. Okay, token with corresponding integer code for the symbol or for identifier or for a keywords or for a operators. Okay, so these are the tokens. Then what do you mean by lexeme? I already told that when a character str bracket, open bracket, close bracket is equal to hello. So that is when I separated those things we will call it as a lexeme. That is nothing but a sequence of characters in the source program that matches the pattern. Okay, sequence of characters, it may be one character, it may be three characters, it may be 10 characters. That is sequence of characters in the source program that matches the pattern, such as identifier, number, relational operators, arithmetic operators, symbols such as hash, open bracket, close bracket, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and so on are called, all are called, we'll call it as a lexeme. Okay, it may be lexeme, it may be identifier, it may be number, it may be relational operators, it may be arithmetic operators, it may be symbol, anything we will call it as a, from the source program we will get a lexeme. Okay, so in other word, a lexeme is a string of patterns read from the source file that corresponds to a token. Okay, a lexeme is a string of patterns read from the source file that corresponds to a token. Okay, so it is a string of patterns. So it may be char, or ASTR, whatever it may be. So those are all nothing but a lexemes. Okay, so that is the taken from source program. Okay, then pattern, the description of, we will get a lexeme from the source program. The description of those lexemes are nothing but a pattern. Okay, the description of a lexeme is called a pattern. Okay, so here more formally, a pattern is described as a rule describing set of lexemes. Okay, so here we have 3 to 4 patterns. We have keywords. So for each keyword, okay, so we'll have a number of lexemes. Okay, so the pattern keyword is a sequence of characters that form reserved words of a language. Okay, that forms a reserved words. Keywords are reserved words. You already see this in C programming, int, float, char, if, else. Okay, so all those things. The For example, int, if, else, while, do, switch, all are reserved words. They're all called keywords. For each things we will have a token, corresponding token we have. Okay, so like that identifier is a sequence of letters or a underscores followed by a number of, that is nothing but a variables or a constant, we'll call it as an identifier. Okay, so these are examples, some I position first, rate of interest, that are all representative variables in a program or that represents the name of a function or a structures, all are treated as identifier. Okay, so all are will identified as a identifier. Variables we are identifying as a identifier. Okay, keywords are we are nothing but a reserved words, and after that identifier are nothing but a variables. That is the another pattern, identifier. Next one is relational operators. Okay, we already know the pattern relational operators, which is described as the symbols that represents the various relational operators of a language. So it may be greater than, less than, greater than, equal, less than, equal to, is equal to, not equal to, all are represents the a pattern of identifying a relational operator. For each one we will have a token. So this is one lexeme, this is one lexeme. Okay, so for that we will have a token. Okay, so this belongs to pattern, this one less than, greater than, all are belongs to pattern relational operator. Like that we will have a last one is symbol. Okay, the pattern symbol is described as a symbol such as hash, dollar, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, open bracket, close bracket, open flower bracket, close flower bracket, and so on. N number of things we have. Okay, so the pattern is nothing but four things: keyword, literals, sorry, integer, identify keywords, identifiers, relational operators, and symbols. These are the four things you will have. Okay, so we have discussed tokens, we have discussed lexemes, and we have discussed pattern. Then your job is to identify which one is the lexeme, which one is the pattern, and which one is the token. Okay, so here I will give an example. Identify lexemes and tokens in the following statement: A is equal to B star D, semicolon. Okay, so I have discussed, so here your job is to identify the lexeme and tokens. Okay, so in the following statement. So lexeme, I will identify A is lexeme, that is equal is lexeme, B is lexeme, star is lexeme, D is lexeme, semicolon is lexeme. Then what is the corresponding token for that? Okay, so here A is a variable, that is nothing but an identifier. B is variable, that is identifier. D is variable, that is identifier. Equal is nothing but a symbol. Okay, so that is equal is nothing but a symbol. Then star is also symbol. Okay, semicolon, that is also symbol. Okay, see here. So here A is a lexeme. Okay, A, these are all, when you divide those things, it will becomes a everything will becomes a lexeme. Okay, so the A is a lexeme. Matching pattern is identifier. Okay, and token is returning a token ID comma 1. This is the first ID means the identifier, and in the position of that identifier in the symbol table is 1. That is where ID is the token name and 1 is the position of the identifier A in the symbol table. Okay, so A is an lexeme and belongs to pattern identifier. Okay, so then the token will be ID comma 1. Like that, equal is the lexeme, it belongs to the pattern symbol. Okay, and token is assign. Yes or no? So equal is a lexeme, matching pattern is symbol, and returning token assign. Then B is a lexeme, matching pattern is identifier, and the token is ID comma 2, because of this is second identifier. Like that, star is a symbol. Okay, star is a lexeme and matching symbol and returning a token, the star. That is star symbol. Then D is an identifier. Okay, so D is a lexeme, matching pattern is identifier, and returning a token ID comma 3. Okay, where ID is the token name and 3 is the position of the identifier in the symbol table. And semicolon is the lexeme, matching pattern is semicolon, and returning the token semicolon. Okay, so like that we will identify the lexeme and their pattern and final token. Like that, I will give one more. So identify the lexeme and tokens in the following statement. Printf simple interest is equal to percentage of slash n colon and double comma si close that parenthesis and semicolon. We are printing this simple interest. Okay, so then we need to identify how we will. So first identify the lexeme. Okay, so first lexeme is printf. Printf is a lexeme matching pattern is identifier and returning token is id comma 1, where id is the token name and 1 is the position in the symbol type. Done. Then after that printf is done, then next one is open parenthesis. Okay, so character is open parenthesis and matching pattern is symbol. Okay, so matching pattern is symbol and returning is, this is nothing but a left parenthesis, that is the token. So character is, this is the character. Okay, matching match is lexeme and matching pattern is symbol and returning token is left parenthesis. Okay, done. After that, this is, we are printing simple interest is equal to percentage of new line character double quote closing double quote. So this is nothing but a one sequence of characters. Okay, within double quote. So this is sequence of a characters. This is a lexeme, matching pattern is string and a returning a token of literal comma 2. Okay, so literal, this is a string literal whole thing, because we are putting in double quote. This one, a whole thing is this string literal and the position of this literal in the symbol table is 2. Okay, so that is the thing. Then after that we will have comma. Okay, this is the character comma is a lexeme, matching pattern is symbol. Okay, the token is comma, comma. Then after that we will have a si, comma after the, see here, after that si closing bracket semicolon. Three things we have. Si is nothing but a variable, that is nothing but identifier, the position of the identifier id comma, that is third position. Okay, so that one will be the si is a lexeme, matching pattern is identifier, returning token that is nothing but id is nothing but an identifier, that position of that identifier in the symbol table is 3, where id is the token name and 3 is the position of the identifier in the symbol table. Okay, so they're done. So next one is semicolon. Okay, so this semicolon is a matching pattern of symbol and returning is semicolon. Okay, the pattern is symbol and returning is semicolon. Okay, so like that in exams also they will give. Okay, identify the lexeme pattern and token for that. So you need to identify what are the lexeme. First identify the lexeme and it belongs to which pattern. Then after that, what is the token generated from that. Okay, so if you have done, if you are able to do this, then you are ready. You know, your first phase of compiler is done. Okay, so generating the tokens, you have generated the token. If you give the one statement, so now you are able to generate the token. So to generate the token, for first what you need to do, you need to identify the lexeme. After that, what is the pattern of that, and after that generate the token. Lexeme pattern token, lexeme pattern token, lexeme pattern token. Three things if you have done, so the first part of the compiler phase will be done. Nothing is there. Okay, so if you have get a operator, if you get a symbol, that symbol name will be the token. Okay, so if you have a variable guns, it will be a lexeme is and the pattern is identifier and id comma position. Like that, if you identify, so it will be easy for a thing. Okay,